All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are going to now get into talking about should the Cowboys bring back Mike McCarthy? And it was being reported that the Bears were looking to maybe interview him, and I guess the Cowboys, they denied them. So, I don't know. It's interesting that happened because maybe that's an indication that they want to bring him back. Now, they're going to have to sign him to a new deal because he's on an expiring contract. So, should they bring back Mike McCarthy? And I think, I can't speak for Cowboy fans. I feel like there's definitely a group that maybe would want to bring him back, but I just feel like, for the most part, um, there might be. I think the majority of fans probably want to see the Cowboys go in a different direction, especially because of how this season went, how this season started off. Now, Mike McCarthy, in what was this now? His fifth season? Because his first year was 2020. Yeah, his fifth season. His record as the Cowboys head coach is 49-35, which is not bad. He had three 12-5 seasons. His first year with the Cowboys, they went 6-10, and this past season they went 7-10. Now, the 2 years that the Cowboys had a losing record, Dak Prescott got hurt. Now, this year, I think had Dak Prescott not gotten hurt, I think the results kind of maybe stay the same. Because the Cowboys did play a little bit better down the stretch here. The first year, though, that was when Dak had that horrific ankle injury against the Giants. And they had to start Garrett Gilbert and Andy Dalton, and I'm trying to think of who else. Am I missing anybody? No, there was another quarterback they had to start, or maybe that was it. I might be missing one. Oh, Ben DiNucci. That's right. They had to start him on that Sunday night against the Eagles. I remember that. So yeah, had Dak not gotten hurt that year, I think maybe the record might have been flipped. But well, also actually, the Cowboys' defense was not good that year. Wasn't good this year either, but it did improve towards the end of the year when they started getting guys back. But yeah, for Cowboy fans, they've kind of been stuck in kind of the same cycle as the Steelers to an extent, where they're a team that makes the playoffs, and yeah, they might win a playoff game, but then they get knocked down in the second round. Now, Pete Carroll is out there. I keep saying Pete Carroll. So if the Cowboys wanted to bring him in, maybe you say goodbye to Mike McCarthy. You bring Pete Carroll in. But the thing is, though, is Pete Carroll going to be a good fit if they brought him in? Again, Pete Carroll would change the culture immediately. But I think because of the power that Jerry Jones possesses, I don't know how that I don't know how that relationship would work. So right now I'd probably lean towards them bringing back McCarthy, because they could say, look, you had injuries, you made the playoffs 3 straight years. Let's run it back. I could see that happening. Like, I don't see them going out and getting Brian Flores or right now Mike Vrabel. We just talked about him. I think he's going to the Patriots. And I don't think they're going to bring in a first-time head coach. Now, I thought because he used to be with the team, what if they went out and they brought in Kellen Moore to be the head coach? Because he used to be on the staff and he used to play quarterback for them. I think 2015. I remember he played a game, but I think this is probably what's going to end up happening. Is McCarthy's going to come back now? Is it going to be? Are Cowboy fans going to be happy with that? Like I said, I think there's going to be some that want him back, and I think I would guess the majority of fans probably don't want him back because that means that they're going to keep going through the same thing, where they are a good regular season team, but you get to the playoffs, you play against some of these better teams, and you end up getting knocked out. That's what happens. Now, this year was different. You didn't make the playoffs. I still thought the Cowboys would make the playoffs. But once Dak Prescott went down, that was pretty much it. They played a little bit better. I think because the Cowboys played better, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, you could say that. I guess they played better with Cooper Rush at quarterback after Dak got hurt. They beat the Commanders on the road. They beat the Buccaneers at home. Those are teams that are going to the playoffs. I think that showed, the players still play for McCarthy, and because of that, maybe that earned him another contract with the Cowboys. That's just my opinion. But only time will tell. I mean, again, we went over some of the other options. I know before Belichick signed the deal with North Carolina, there was maybe a possibility he could go to the Cowboys. I know there were some reports out there. But I guess at this point, you kind of just say, all right, we'll go with McCarthy. I know there were other reports out there that maybe they should go and draft Shedeur Sanders so then Dion comes. No, that's not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. So, yeah, I guess Mike McCarthy might be the best option for them. Even though I tend to agree with what I said that you bring back McCarthy, it's going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of the same. But Jerry Jones, I think, likes McCarthy a lot. And we saw what happened during the Jason Garrett era, where he was the head coach forever. Throughout the whole, pretty much the whole 2010s. And it took a while before Jerry Jones finally said, all right, we got to make a change. Basically, my whole life, watching football, Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Cowboys. And the Cowboys never really won anything. Tony Romo finally won a playoff game when he was the head coach, and then Dak Prescott took over. Dak Prescott only has 2 playoff wins. Right? It's only 2. Yeah, only 2 playoff wins. That's it. Or 3. Does he have 3? No, he only has 2 because he won. No, yeah, he only has 2. I was second guessing myself because they won against Pete Carroll's Seahawks, and then a couple years ago they beat Tom Brady in his final game. And the Bucs really weren't that great that year. And in 2018, that Seahawks team, some people didn't expect them to make the playoffs because there were a lot of changes on defense, but they made it because, they're a well-coached team. And that was back when Russell Wilson was a top 10 quarterback. And they played the Cowboys in Dallas, and they lost the game. So, yeah, like I said, it took a while for Jerry Jones to finally let go of Jason Garrett. So, we could be maybe heading down that same path again. We'll see. But let me know what you guys think. Should the Cowboys bring back Mike McCarthy? I guess I would lean towards yes, just because now there's a ton of options out there, but I don't know if there's necessarily a fit. So and look, he had 3 12-5 seasons. Dak Prescott got hurt. I think if this team, and also how they finished out the season, I think if they would have won 4 games this year, like it was looking like it was going towards at one point, then I would probably lean towards not bringing him back. But because of how the Cowboys played down the stretch, the defense played better, and they won some games that they probably shouldn't have won, but they did. But they won. I think maybe you give him another shot. Cowboy fans might not like it, but that's just how I feel. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, though, should they bring back McCarthy. But before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively and more entertaining. Between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers, we appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So when we come back from our next break, we will talk about the Lions and David Montgomery. He will be returning for the divisional round. Whoever the Lions may play, we don't know who they're going to be playing just yet. We'll find out after this weekend. So we'll talk about the impact of that when we return from our next break. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.